All right, and we are live. Hello, welcome. Welcome everybody who is tuning in here to Cantina Cocktail Hour live stream. Super excited because this evening I have Jayson from YakFace.com joining us. We're going to talk, I'm sure, lots of Star Wars toy and collecting goodness. So Jayson, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, super cool. So it's I don't know about you, but it's been quite a week. It seems like for everybody that I've talked to, no matter where you live in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on. Definitely a long week for me too. So always nice to wind down. Going into the long holiday weekend with some Star Wars toy talk. So awesome. I'm here for it. Cool. So what are you drinking tonight?
I'm having a nice tasty water for this evening.
Nothing wrong with water.
Yep.
We need water to survive. I'm misbehaving a little bit more. So this is the first time I've ever made this. This is a blueberry mint frozen margarita. I just did it on the fly.
That looks tasty.
So yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a good invention. This is probably gonna be my new go-to for a little bit. I change every week or 2 weeks or so. But it's really good. So cheers.
Cheers.
Cool. So what's been going on YakFace.com lately?
Oh, this same old, trying to find new information and get it out there. As people might know, I like to track down behind the scenes info as far as, what's coming and when we can expect things and all that. So it's been kind of quiet lately with all the delays, with things making it to retail and even things obviously shipping to the US and around. The information's been a little light, but it's going to start picking up here probably before the end of the year once, we've got a Fan Force Wednesday next week. So hopefully we'll hear some goodies there. But yeah, I'm excited. Hope, they say that there's going to be some announcements and we'll see how many of them are new,
Yeah, I'm excited. It feels like for Black Series, it's been kind of quiet lately.
Yeah.
Definitely haven't been any releases lately. I know there's a couple that have been delayed. But for Vintage, it seems like it's been a little more active in terms of like the rumors you've been digging up and, some of the other things that have been popping up. So it's interesting. A couple of years ago, it was kind of the opposite. So we're seeing like a little bit more of an output with Vintage on some level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's been nice too is, I'm all over Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and some of the Discord servers that are out there. And just even the chats that you and I do on the side, it's like there's a lot of Vintage talk. It's like people finally getting that Ahsoka wave. Whether it's at Target or even finally shipping from online retailers. So that's been good to see and hear.
Yeah.
And also the Walmart exclusives. As terrible it is, the condition they all arrive in, it seems like it's few and far between that anyone receives everything perfect in any one shipment.
Sure.
So
yeah, that's true. I mean, even like if you get a solid case shipped from Entertainment Earth or Big Bad Toy Store, sometimes there's still issues if it's a sealed case with that nobody's handled before. I've had that happen before. You'll pull something out, it's like, well, how did that happen? But yeah, no, you're right. It's nice that things are with Walmart. That's not surprising. It's nice that we're getting new figures. It's nice that we're getting new toys, and like the Ahsoka way for a lot of people, they've received it, and then the Walmart stuff hit like a week later. It's been showing up at doorsteps. So it's nice to have new stuff. A lot of stuff's been delayed, like you said. There's a lot of issues going on with manufacturing and transportation, but a lot of us are getting some new toys. So I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Yep. And it's kind of nice too that it's all not coming from one retailer. It's like, Amazon is shipping out and Target and even the main online retailers that deal with collectibles, like Entertainment Earth and Dorkside and like you said, Big Bad Toy Store, Old Republic Collectibles. There's a lot of them out there that are getting product in hand. They might not be getting all that they've ordered from Hasbro, but at least they're getting some, and they're fulfilling some of the orders that they're able to. So
absolutely. For a lot of these things, we've been seeing shipping from Entertainment Earth, primarily the Ahsoka Wave. Would you say these would be considered like day one pre-orders in your opinion, or is there really like a method to it?
It kind of depends on the retailer. I think, like with Target, let's say, you'll get a lot of people that have had pre-orders forever. They'll have them canceled, and then people are able to then pre-order again right away. And then, I've heard instances where those people may have gotten their orders filled, and there's there's been people out there that have been waiting since the beginning for them. The other retailers, like the specialty retailers, they're pretty good about fulfilling things in the order they came in. So, so that's kind of the deal with those.
Yeah, Walmart, Target and Walmart is so weird with pre-orders. Amazon too. Like, I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, I didn't order it right away. I ordered it like a month into the pre-order, and then they'll get it before me." And it's just like, how does that happen? It's just such a weird thing. Like, there's not really, like, you're right though. Like the fan channel retailers seem to do a better job of getting things out in the order that orders are placed. But yeah, it's just these big box guys are just, it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what they can do as far as from a logistic standpoint, on their end to, because you've heard the stories of people having to approve delays with their notifications coming from Target, and even Amazon has been doing it more now, having to approve that, hey, this order is going to come a little bit later than expected. And if you don't approve this, we're just going to cancel it. And I know people that have approved those orders and got it canceled anyway. So it's really kind of a nightmare in that regard, where, people are having to order product from, 3 or 4 different sources just to hopefully get their orders filled and not canceled. And that's just, I don't know how to read that. It's kind of, it shows that the line is really healthy in a way. Like, there's a lot of demand for this Ahsoka wave in particular. I mean, this is a really strong wave, one of the stronger waves they've had in a while. And to have people's orders getting canceled out from under them is really, it hurts the enthusiasm, I think, for a lot of collectors wanting to stick with it. Some of us have been around since the beginning, and there's only so many times you can get something canceled or even able to pre-order it at all before people say, this isn't worth the effort anymore. And
yeah, totally. I've seen a lot of frustration, and for all the issues Walmart has with shipping and things arriving in bags and stuff. They've been pretty good lately about the pre-orders. I know there was an issue early in the year, late last year, where they were canceling pre-orders and then putting them up like the next day for like 3 times the price.
Right.
It seems like they figured that out. The last couple of Walmart exclusive waves, the pre-orders were like for weeks. Like, they just stayed up there, and anybody that wanted them was able to get their stuff. But then you have things like the retro Boba Fett prototype. That's just like, it's up for a few seconds, it's gone. If you miss it, you miss it.
Yeah.
You got to try finding it in stores. That's hard.
Right.
So I never even saw that in stores. I missed the online pre-order. Evan from the TVC SWTVC group on Instagram was kind enough to hook me up with one. But other than that, I wasn't able to track that one down. So certain things are just like, they fix some things, but then other things just keep on going in the same pattern. And it doesn't incite a lot of, I can understand people being frustrated. There's a lot of reasons that maybe not everybody is privy to. But it's easy to get frustrated with it. It happens to me too.
Yeah. And there's also, over the past year or so, I've noticed a big change in, like, but for the longest time, USA got the stuff all the time first. And now a lot of that has changed, where Canada has been really big as far as getting product earlier than the United States, or even, like in England, they might have access or availability that we don't have necessarily, as far as, you know, because of how exclusives are arranged here, they might not come for quite a while, but they have different
Yeah.
sources for those same exclusives over there that are I wouldn't want to say easier to obtain, but they have different sources for those. So you could go to different retailers and still be able to acquire those months before they are officially released here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we've been seeing that a lot more lately. Yeah, you're right. Things hitting Canada, things hitting places like in Europe, but and even like in Asia, like Singapore, places like that are getting things pretty quickly
right,
compared to US and other markets. Um, I guess one thing that like Canada has going for it is they still have Toys R Us. They may not have Target, but they still have Toys R
right.
Us, and that's a big distributor for a lot of these exclusives and different products in Canada. Um, yeah, it's so sad. Like we had 3 local Toys R Us's here in the San Diego area, and one of them still has the marquee on the building. Like you drive
Right.
along the freeway, you still see it says Toys R Us, and it's like, it's so sad.
Yep.
Um, yeah.
Well, it's kind of now Macy's has entered the fray
Mm,
of retailers that you could, try to find product at,
yes.
because as you've seen, I've seen, and a lot of people have read, they're starting to get a small toy section right now. It'll
Mm,
be bigger next year when the full Toys R Us thing goes into effect in the Macy's stores. But there is a small developing toy section at some Macy's stores,
yeah.
um, and they've been able to find some Star Wars product in it, whether it's the Mission Fleet
Yeah.
or even the Vintage Collection has shown up there with the Ahsoka wave to start. So
Yeah, that's cool.
it's another avenue for people that might not have
Hmm.
Targets as prevalent as I do in my area. I live here in Minnesota, and that's where Target lives, essentially. So I typically don't have too many issues finding Target exclusives, but like
Yeah.
Walmart exclusives are tough to come by,
Yeah,
at least for
that
me.
yeah, I hear you. They're all tough for me to find. Like I don't know what it is. It's something about San Diego. I don't know if it's because we have Comic Con here or what, but there is just insane like the competition. Like it's just
Yeah.
I never see kids in the toy aisles. I always see like adults in the toy aisles, like
Yep.
men, women, just like all kinds of, it's never kids though, like looking at the action figure sections. Um, but yeah, no, it's tough, but it's cool that Macy's is doing this. I know that like I think it was like 2018, 2019, JC Penney was getting kind of big on
Right.
like the Mattel Jurassic line and some of the other things. They had, I think it was, I don't remember, it was like Disney Store, but they had like, I think it was Disney Store, something they had inside JC Penney for a while. I don't know if they're still doing that, but they
Mhm.
also had like other toy lines, and they may still have a big section. I haven't gone in there in a long time, but
Yeah.
Macy's, I found those Mission Fleet the other day, and that was cool to see. No vintage collection yet,
Yep.
unfortunately, but yeah, it's nice. Another, like you said, another avenue that you can potentially locate some of this stuff. So that's cool.
Yep. And I think
And
with Target too, some of the Target stores have the little mini Disney stores in them, and those are expanding to more stores in the future. I think what did I read? I think 400 more of those to become incorporated into select Targets. So that's, I'm not sure what exactly I've found specifically that I couldn't get at other stores, in regards to some of those exclusives, but yeah, they're expanding. So like I think the trying to think of the last exclusives that Target had that you can only get through the Disney store.
the Target had Disney Store. Maybe like not the Millennium Falcon, but
Right.
Yeah, I know they had a lot of that Droid Factory stuff last year from Galaxy's Edge. A lot of that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. But, I think even GameStop has been stepping up to the plate lately. A lot of people are finding some cool stuff at GameStop, the gaming greats. Online, they've been doing a good job of replenishing stock.
Yep.
So that's encouraging. I mean, GameStop, for all the issues they've had in the past as a company and, on the verge of bankruptcy for some time now, for them to keep investing in lines like, the Vintage Collection and continuing to support exclusives is a pretty cool thing. So
Yep.
another avenue to buy stuff, and especially online, they've been doing a really good job of replenishing things and keeping things, even older waves, like going to like late last year, about a year ago, I think, like the Rogue One wave, Vader, and Cheer. Some of those figures are still going into stock regularly, so really cool to see.
And what I like about GameStop too is the different sales they have. I mean, it's far more frequent than some of the other, than Target and Walmart. They have the 20% off or 25% off. Plus, if you're what do they call it, the Pro member, you get the $5 off each month. And I mean, it adds up over time. And they, like you said, they've done a pretty good job with being able to fill exclusive orders and just being able to offer exclusives in general. GameStop's been a lot better. And
they ship really well too. I haven't had any issues with their shipping. Like it's solid through and through. So yeah, really cool. Let's see who's in the chat. So we have Jayson. Hey Jayson, great to see you as always in here. Another Jayson. Milky Way Skywalker. He's looking forward to hearing from you, Jayson. Ellis, hi. Mary, hey, welcome back. Good to see you once again. Mobile Rescue, John, Lucas Graphics, hello. Lady Chewbacca says that she bought some Power of the Force cinema scenes from you, Jayson. Eric in Nashville. Left Coast Graphics, hello. Towards Canada's not strong. Most of the inventory is old stock. Shelves always look full though. EP Games, GameStop has been a good source as well. Yeah, the Canadian stores are really good for Jurassic. If you collect Jurassic, they stock everything. The Toys R Us stores for some reason. Our pal John Miko is in the chat.
Yeah.
Hondo. Yeah, good stuff. Sorry, just joined the conversation. Hello, John. Good to see you. So we just published yesterday the Vintage Collection podcast. Season 2 is back, episode number 11. And John and I did, we reviewed the latest Vintage Collection Ahsoka wave. And I did some unboxings as we were talking about that wave. So that was a blast. Check it out if you haven't already. Action Figure Expert says, hello. How are you doing tonight? I am doing well, kind of tired. Been a long day. Been up since like 5:30. That's typical weekday. But we're hanging in here. Yeah, so cool stuff. So the Van Pulse, is it Wednesday? Is it's a Wednesday this time, isn't it? That's coming up. Okay.
Yep, the 8th.
Yeah, that's like kind of a surprise because that's already next week.
I know.
Yeah. Do you think this is going to be, I mean, the last couple weren't bad. Do you think this one is going to be, proportionately, it's going to outshine the last couple days that Hasbro did?
No, not, I mean, it's tough to beat the other, especially Marvel. Marvel always has so many reveals and, just new pre-orders, and they've always got so much to talk about. With being as close as we are to the October Hasbro PulseCon, I don't think it's going to be super, how should I say? I don't think it's going to be too, over the top as far as what they show and what they reveal. It's going to be stuff that there might be a few new things, but I think, a lot of it's going to be stuff we've either known is coming or they've announced in prior fan first days, as far as like pipeline stuff and whatever. So there'll be a few pre-orders that go up, vintage collection type things. So I think it'll be interesting. There's always some good nuggets in there, so yeah,
it'll be cool. I know they've been doing pre-orders like piecemeal, like for the last few years, where they'll reveal part of a wave, then part of a wave, and then part of a wave. So you can pre-order your case, but you don't know exactly what's going to be in the case necessarily. So yeah, maybe they'll fill in some of those gaps that we haven't seen for waves that we know are upcoming, or maybe there'll be parts of new waves. Yeah, it'll be cool to see. It's about time for another one of these, and
it's been
I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited to see what they're gonna reveal. Hopefully, some cool stuff.
Yeah, and as far as like Black Series stuff goes, especially like the leaked Rancor for HasLab. I don't know if they're going to get into that too much, other than maybe kind of promote it again. I suspect that will probably be saved for that PulseCon type. I mean, because they have like the Transformers one going on right now. I don't think they are going to want to step on that one too much, but we'll see.
True. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I assume the Rancor is going to be sooner rather than later. Just they kind of been, mentioning it a little bit more, and
right.
I mean, I guess they kind of had to some extent after what happened, but but yeah, I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. How do you feel about a Black Series Rancor? Is that something that piques your interest?
It does. I mean, having so many of the 3 3/4-inch Rancors, the 6-inch version doesn't seem like something all that new, because we've had it in the regular scale before. I imagine it's going to be a great piece, depending on how they tier the extras and whatnot. But I think, I'm a heavy collector of the Black Series too. Will I jump in on it? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be pretty big. Do I have a spot for it? Not really, but that hasn't stopped me before.
Yeah, so, that's something I keep saying too. It's like, I mean, I saw the one they had at Comic-Con a few years ago, and I was like, okay, that's huge. I mean, at the point there was no indication it was going to ever be released. It was just like a thing they had. But I mean, it's kind of weird that they would even display it to begin with. So I think they were just trying to gauge interest and see what people said. But yeah, but I was saying the same thing. Like, yeah, it's going to be huge. That even the 3 3/4-inch ones are pretty big. What am I going to do with a 6-inch scale Rancor? But maybe as a standalone piece, it's going to look kind of cool. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, so let's see what's going on here in the chat. So John says, hopefully more pipeline too. It would be great to hear more about the playset. Yeah, so that Cantina playset, that's not the Cantina. Yeah, maybe we'll see something about that. We also know that the Death Trooper is a pack-in for that set, thanks to another leak, or I don't know how it just kind of came out in that Q&A as well.
Right. It was going to be the, let's see, what did I hear? Well, this was a while ago. It was going to be the Incinerator Trooper before I think it was decided that it was going to come out separately.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, Death Trooper, I guess, isn't a stretch either because they are in that scene. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing really fresh. It's come out a few times now. Yeah, so Lady Chewbacca, ready to be disappointed trying to order Trapper Wolf. Yeah, I'm really nervous about those Pulse pre-orders. I'm really nervous about this Pulse pre-orders. I haven't had, it's been hit and miss. Some years I get everything I want, some years I don't. It just really depends. Like, yeah, sometimes the site's slow, sometimes your order doesn't go through, you got to keep trying to get it in, and then it's sold out. It's like, it can be like NECA, same sort of thing. Like, sometimes you can get in if you're like really, really, really quick, but if you're like 2 minutes into it, then that's like 2 minutes too long and you miss out.
Right. And I think the previous one, they limited, or as far as they excluded Star Wars from being able to be pre-ordered for Pulse Premium members. I think that's what happened the last time. I hope they avoid that if they stretch it out and release those then. It would be nice if they went up for pre-order next week. I'm not sure one way or the other. But yeah, I definitely want the the Emperor's Throne Room and the Trapper Wolf. I'm not too, because Dr. Evazan and Ponda Baba are coming out in the regular line anyway, as far as in the being non-exclusive Black Series figures. I don't need another Obi-Wan, so I think I could skip out on the quote unquote playset.
Yeah, that one is tough. I mean, you know, obviously I'm a huge Cantina fan. But I gotta buy 2 to build the bar, you know, a part of the bar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about that. And then, you know, I don't collect usually carded for Black Series. Some I do, some of them I do have, but like if you were a carded collector and you wanted to build the bar, you'd have to get 3 of them. So it's just like, yeah.
Then you have all those extra Dr. Evazan.
And it could even, and it could even be like a limit of 1. You know, that's how Pulse exclusives are sometimes. So you might not even be able to do the whole bar. So who knows?
Right. And they kind of dropped the ball on that one, as well as not having Ponda Baba's arm removable. I mean, that's like the whole point of that scene, really.
Yeah, pretty much every 3 3/4 inch one, Power of the Forces, since Power of the Forces has had that as a feature. Right. So that's weird. That is weird, but what can you do?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm not looking forward to that day. It's going to be a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, but hopefully I can get my pre-orders and really want to get that stuff. Still waiting for my Garrido. Mine just came in. I haven't opened the box yet, but it just came in from Pulse. Or no, not Garrido. Luke. Luke's the one that came in from Pulse. Yeah, I don't think they shipped Garrido or Han Solo yet.
I know, as I track these things in the background, I know that they've received Greedo, but I haven't heard of any orders being processed for him yet. So they're in their warehouse. They just haven't got around to releasing it yet.
Interesting. So Mobile Recluse says, this week a couple of online stores in the Philippines have offered the Blue Leader X-Wing for pre-order. Cool.
Yep. I saw what I think it was Forbidden Planet. Was that who? Or no, or maybe it was Toy Palace in Germany was offering pre-orders for that as well, just on Friday. Was it today? Today. And that's going to go up here. I think it's going to be a part of this whole Target fall geek out that's coming at the end of the month, at least for the Star Wars portion on the 24th of September. I think that will be the big Star Wars thing for that.
Let's see how they handle the pre-order.
Right.
Again, like Pulse, it's always my concern. How are they going to handle the pre-order?
And hopefully they could fill those orders pretty fast too, because I know those have arrived in the U.S. They've hit Hasbro's distribution center in California, so they've started to arrive. So hopefully the time between the pre-order isn't months, before you actually get it.
Nice. Something to look forward to for the holidays, hopefully. Maybe we get, Milky Way Skywalker says, some updates on the arrival timeline for the Razor Crest. Yeah, we haven't heard anything about the Crest in a while.
Yeah.
Who knows? With all the delays and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe that's how they haven't been talking about it, because it is delayed. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we could see, the final packaging all done, because they showed those behind the scenes, the photo shoot for what they're putting together for the packaging, but I'd like to see the final box how it's all designed. Yeah, I'm excited about the Razor Crest. I don't know where I'm going to put it. Yep. Like you were saying earlier, space, if it doesn't stop us, we still buy stuff. Right. I have no idea where it's going to go. Something's going to have to be put into the closet, though. Right. Not the barge. The barge ain't going into the closet. It'll be something else in the closet. But we'll worry about that when it gets here. Still got some time. Yeah. So what else? What else has been hitting lately? So vintage collection. Oh, who came in? My dog just came in. I thought the ghost was coming in. The door just opened by itself. No, it's the dog. Hey,
Come here real quick. Come say hello. Come on. I'll give you a sip of the cocktail. Just kidding. Here she is. She's joining us for cocktail hour right here.
Nice.
Yeah, say hello. Say hello to everybody watching you. She's a good girl. She doesn't take any of my toys ever. Even though they fall on the floor, she knows better. She's just a really good dog. She doesn't like I've come in here and I found like TVC figures on the floor, accessories on the floor. She doesn't take them. She just like knows her somehow or another not to take them.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's a really good girl. So what do you think of the latest TVC figures? Have you had a chance? Did you get the Ahsoka wave yet?
I have part of it. I have Ahsoka and who else do I have? I still need the Jawa and I still need Maul. So that leaves what? Echo?
Yeah. Okay. Right on. Yeah. I'm one of those people who does order too from various places, not everywhere. I try to focus on Entertainment Earth only because it's closest to me. Now we've seen where they're shipping before, that doesn't always mean anything.
Right.
I've had things, they're 2 counties away. I've had things take like 2 weeks to get here.
Yep.
So yeah, but that they tend to be my go-to just because they're, I don't worry so much about them canceling my orders. It may just take some time, but yeah. So they shipped me my my Ahsoka case last week, and I'm really happy with these figures. They're great. I love these figures.
Yeah, the Ahsoka is by far my favorite of the.
Yeah, and I was telling John Miko on our recording that this might be one of my favorite TVC figures like ever made, if not if not my favorite, like for sure. She's like just great.
Yep, it's about perfect.
Yeah, love it. So see if we can get her to stand back up now that I've taken her off. Maul's really cool too. Maul is the likeness on this one is just impeccable. It's so good. I'm sure it's kind of blurry on the screen, but yeah, he's great. Just everything about him is solid. I know there have been issues on a lot of people's the horns like not being painted like all the way around, like there's red instead of black, so that's weird. But the only like gripe that I have about these is that they do not have like unlit lightsaber hilts. Like they only have like the lit ones, and the blades are not removable. Right. That's that was always something that they kind of. I mean, going back to like 2002, right? Like the Saga line. Like that's when lightsabers like started having removable blades, and when they didn't do that, they'd include the hilts with them. They did that with the previous Darth Maul in TVC, and now these they're just fixed in place, which isn't. It's not the end of the world. It's just one of those things. Like it's a little bit of a step backward when you've had that option for so much time, and then suddenly you don't. It's a little irritating.
Yeah, I think it's, again, as prices go up for some of these things, it's one of the first places they probably looked to, save a buck or two, just not have another mold.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. The Jawa also makes up that wave. Jawa is really cool. I like the coloring on it. It's like spot on to me. I was telling John, I kind of feel like they should try something with the eyes to make them more like, they look good, but maybe they painted them with like reflective paint or glow in the dark paint or, just something to make them like shine. I think that'd be a pretty neat feature. And then the egg that it comes with is really, really detailed. Yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, solid wave. This is like you're saying, like they didn't anticipate the demand for this wave. A lot of people, even like casual people that I've spoken with that aren't really like into collecting regularly, like they have interest in this wave. I mean, these characters, have become so beloved by people over the last decade plus, and yeah, it's kind of a bummer that a lot of people are going to have to wait a while longer until they get them.
Yeah, with it being such a Clone Wars heavy wave, that's a lot of people's Star Wars. Like, they grew up. That was the Star Wars they started with, and it holds a huge, a place in their collection. I know a lot of people like that. So I totally understand why it's so in demand.
Yeah, for sure. It's yeah, definitely. And I mean, I feel like at this point, anything they do with Clone Wars, Black Series, Vintage Collection, like it never seems to linger. It's always seems to be pretty successful. So, but then when you talk to them in these Q&As and they say things like, well, we feel like collectors prefer original trilogy and Mandalorian. It's like, well, no, we want more than that. Clone
Right.
Wars always seems to do so well. And it seems like, we've gotten things here and there. We just haven't gotten them on the level that, we could be getting them.
Yep. Yeah. Variety's good.
It is. Absolutely. So do you have space on top of the DTOFs? I do not. For the Razor Crest, I do not. The AT-AT's up there, the Imperial Shuttle, the Slave One. I have an ARC 170. Yeah, they're not going to fit up there. We were saying, maybe you saw Jayson in that chat the other day, that DTOFs are like a nerd's like dollhouse.
Yep.
Yeah, it's basically what it is. What breed? So my dog is a Dachshund, just a long-haired Dachshund. Can't find Endor Luke or Pat Blue. Yeah, Endor. Have these been hitting pretty heavily, Jayson, at retail? The Endor Luke wave.
Not Endor Luke, but the Endor Leia for sure. I've got a Walmart near me that I think this was 2 weeks ago put out that end cap, that cardboard end cap deal loaded with those figures. And I went to that same Walmart again today, and not one of them had sold. So there's still six of each of those 3 figures in it. So Lady Chewbacca, if you're looking for Pablo, I could probably get you one if you really need it.
Nice. Did the Walmart exclude any word on the General Lando Coscarese Black Series wave? Some showed up this summer, but now my pre-order's November 1st. Those did hit some stores, didn't they? I kind of remember seeing that like a month or two ago.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to find that whole wave at a Walmart. It was in July, so yeah, I haven't really seen much of it since. It has popped up a little bit more as of late, but and it's shown up in weird places too, like even Walgreens. They've shown up there. I haven't seen them there, but yeah, it's one of those waves that hit, like someone said, just kind of that one time, and then now it's all pushed out again.
Yeah, so weird, because I think pre-orders haven't even shipped on those, have they?
I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm guilty of, once I get mine, I stop looking at when they start shipping.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You're like, oh, I'm good. I got him. His leak sent the social internet's on fire.
Oh
yeah. Endor Leia wave hit heavily in Canada. Why not make 3 3/4-inch Return of the Jedi retro solo Rogue One book with family figures? Retro indie would also be a hit. Maybe.
yeah.
We'll
definitely get Return of the Jedi. And
oh yeah.
I would not be surprised if we got Book of Boba Fett as well.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too surprising. If we get Return of the Jedi, I think we've had like how many, like 6 to 7 figures per series.
Right.
What would you expect to see in a Return of the Jedi retro collection wave?
Oh, probably. It's so hard to say sometimes. I would imagine an Emperor. There's so many good ones.
Yeah, Emperor would be in there for sure.
I don't think they would do anything that requires soft goods just because of the cost. So that would kind of leave out like the Royal Guard and even Andor, Leia, and Luke and Han. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think they'd maybe do like a Jedi Luke. Like that would kind of make sense. I mean, other than the cape, like you're saying, but maybe that would be the exception. I kind of feel like you'd have to incorporate like Han, Luke, and Leia somehow.
Right.
Maybe they would do like an all new like Hut Slayer Leia
Right.
in vintage retro style. I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't look very good. It'd be
And
weird
then,
for sure.
like they've done with the past couple. Well, yeah, they did it for the Mandalorian too with that Stormtrooper. As far as having a game that you have to spend $50 on to get the figure.
Oh, yeah. Don't remind me about that. A game that I didn't even really look at. I put it somewhere, and I don't even know where
Right.
it's at. But it's never to be seen again, most likely. But I got the figure, and the figure's on the wall. So
Yeah.
that's what we do. Yeah, they still haven't done like a 3PO or an R2D2 in retros. I kind of feel like maybe that's something they get around to. I don't know what the finish would be like on 3PO, but
Right. It'd be like the droids one, with the just the plastic or painted body for 3PO and the dull chrome or dull gray plastic for the head.
yeah, it
For,
could be. Or they just won't
R2.
even like try to do them because it'd be so far off from
Yeah.
who knows. Maybe we'll get Bib Fortuna possibly, or
Yeah.
there's a lot of options with Return of the Jedi. I think lots of cool stuff that they could possibly do. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're into
Someone posted in the
retro.
chat there the Scout Trooper. Yeah, that would be definitely a.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, Scout Trooper. Although they didn't do a Snow Trooper on the Empire Wave. Hazard Pulse pushed the tech wave back till December. What are the chances of Jesse being released on a single card TVC? I'd say pretty good. So I haven't seen the end cap at any Walmart. Yeah, those don't exist around here. I don't I know some stores get those and some don't. I don't know what the arithmetic they utilize to make those determinations, but I haven't seen that here for sure.
Right.
Yes, tons of Leia and ATST drivers around. Why is it that the Leia is the only figure in that wave that ships like every single time, like beat up?
I don't know.
Somebody in the shipping department doesn't like Leia or something. I don't know. Any speculation on Omega yet? I won't tell anyone. Well, they pipelined her for Black Series at least.
Right.
So she's definitely at some point going to be coming. Probably next year, I would assume at this point. Hoping we get a wide release of Black Series Palpatine before Jedi 40th. Missed the Amazon one. Yeah, I don't know about that. What's weird, Jayson, about some of these Amazon sets is they don't they do like one or two runs and then we never see them again. Like the Mandalorian biker scout on the speeder bike, like that never really like stayed on their site very long at all. And Per kind of came and went. Yeah, it's strange how some of them stick around. Like you could still go on there and find like the First Order Trooper, I think, pretty inexpensively. Some of the Trooper packs, I think you could still get without too much of a premium. But yeah, like some of them just like kind of come and go.
Yep. Then nice, like especially that the Vintage Collection 4-pack from the Bad Batch. That one left. That one didn't last long at all, and thankfully they confirmed that they're going to put up more later. But still, you have to.
Yeah, don't remind me about that one.
Get around.
Don't remind me. It got. Yeah, I know I say it all the time, but it got announced, and then 2 hours later it went online. And like, if you weren't paying attention, that was like my last day of like working, like before the summer break at school, and it was my first day after like when we dismissed our summer break, and I slept in. I mean, naturally I slept in. So on the West Coast, I missed it. And then the pre-order went up the pre-order on Amazon went up before I was even awake. So I missed it completely. Yep. And I woke up to that. I'm like, wait, what? But to their credit, last time I asked this in the Q&A, Patrick said that was a poor decision on their part and that they wouldn't do that again. So we'll see.
One of many.
Yeah. I wonder what else happened in those Q&As that maybe kind of slipped out.
Right.
Let's see. Leia lands in bounty hunter outfits for retro. Yeah, that'd be neat. That'd be neat to get to see those. Jurassic Dave. Yeah, my Walmart is a bunch of Andor Leia wave on end cap. Yeah, so that we're maybe 3 months out since those shipped. So I assume at this point that the wave that's hitting now, that's shipping, we'll actually see them in stores maybe in a few months' time or maybe sooner. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool stuff. Well, what else is on your mind in terms of Star Wars collecting or Star Wars anything really?
Well, as of late, I've been picking up some stuff done by customizers and third-party 3D printed stuff. Like someone was talking about for the Black Series before for Omega. I'm not sure how familiar people are with John Walker Customs, but I picked up the AZ droid that he put up today, and that's for the Black Series scale. It has multiple arms, and it's unpainted, but that shouldn't be a problem considering it's pretty much just all silver with some eye color. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We'll see if they include that with Omega, which would be kind of my luck if they decided to do that. But
yeah,
he and a lot of the online community produce just some amazing accessories, both in plastic and soft goods. And I've upgraded a lot of my Black Series figures for sure with custom capes and robes and lightsaber hilts and stuff like that. So leave it to the online community to fill in those gaps that Hasbro won't get to or just can't devote the time and resources to. So
totally. Is he the one that did the elevator from Mandalorian, or is that somebody else?
No, that was Landspeeder Luke.
Okay, that was cool. That was a neat one. Yeah. No, the fans do a lot of great stuff. A lot of these dioramas are really cool pieces, and I mean, realistically, Hasbro's never going to get around to a lot of this stuff, so it's cool to have the options.
Right.
I mean, I'm kind of a little bit, to some level, kind of strange. I mean, I know some people, for example, with Maul, some people will go in and maybe paint the little mistakes or go over them with a Sharpie or whatever. I don't know, maybe it's an OCD thing or something, but I can't correct
right.
Even if it was unintentional by on Hasbro's end, it's something that is widespread. I can't correct it because it's just, to me, it's just part of the figure, right? If I start going in there and changing things, it's I don't know, I just can't do that. So I have a little bit of that when it comes to displaying third party items, and that's not always the case. I do have some space walls that they sent me, and I was like, oh, these are cool, I'm going to use them. But yeah, a lot of the time I kind of have a little bit of an inability to find them completely compatible. Not because they don't look amazing, because they do.
Right.
It's just an OCD thing where I have a hard time putting them together for some reason.
Yeah, I like to upgrade or improve, whatever you want to call it, some of the Black Series figures where, if since the Black Series switch over to the new packaging, I think a lot of people have commented on and noticed how glossy some of the figures' faces look. And, I tamp those down with some matte paint or, just some spray paint, or I weather a lot of the clones or the troopers, especially with Bad Batch. I totally reworked the armor weathering on all of those figures, just to give them a more on-screen accurate look. So
yeah, no, that's cool. I have a lot of respect for customizers and people that take good things and make them even better. Yeah, that's it. You know, they do a lot of good stuff. You do a lot of cool stuff too. How did your I don't know if I ever saw the final product. I knew you were working like for Black Series, like the Snoke like throne, and like you're doing like a diorama for that.
I ran into that the other day. Funny you mentioned that. It got about as far as the picture that I took that time.
That's funny. I was thinking about it the other day for some weird reason, and I was like, oh, I wonder what happened with that.
Yep, I think I have it right over in the corner here behind the box for my iMac. That's as far as it went.
Yeah, it's tough with Black Series. Like, I mean, I collect them too. I have pretty much the whole line, I believe. I don't think I'm missing anything other than maybe like Salacious Crumb or just some of the random like convention stuff. But it's tough because, you know, they are bigger and they take up more shelf space. And I do find myself more often than with vintage collections, like going through and pulling them off and putting other figures on the shelf and just kind of rotating them out.
Yeah.
Best love. Hold on to damaged figures, sign them and start treated 3 weeks later. Buy those and then return the damaged ones. Always an option, unless you live in an area that doesn't get anything like I do. Another lesson learned: order 3 or more of the figure, and they have to ship in a box. Sometimes. I don't know about that. Have you tried Walmart?
Right. You might get 3 separate bags.
I just posted a picture of this actually yesterday of my Endor Luke wave, and yeah, I ordered like, I think it was 3 Lukes, 3 of the droid, Death Star droid, and like 8 Tuskens, and they all came. Most of them came separately. It was all one order. Most of them came separately. So it's just weird. It's just super, super weird. It's amazing, but what the community is doing with 3D printing and digital sculpting, yeah, totally. That's created a whole other, a lot more options than we had before. Did Rampart and the clone shock trooper get
pushed? I think
pushed. Okay.
Yeah,
they did. Right. I got an email the other day from Walmart that said they're pushed back like till later.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Shout out to John Miko. Thank you for all you do. Yep, absolutely. Lots of good stuff on the Facebook TVC group. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how this whole shipping situation plays out, right? There's a lot of things that are delayed. Shipping costs have become exorbitant. And I don't remember it was you or somebody had said that it's gone to the point where Hasbro is actually like like shipping things through air, right? Like to get them to the US rather than putting them on boats just because of how long it's taking.
Yeah, a lot of the fan channel ones, they'll do that on occasion. I mean, it's costly as well, as you might imagine. But like even the big stores like Target and Walmart, they'll do drop shipments kind of like that. Especially if it has to be for a certain event, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things work out. I mean, things are delayed. It's obvious. You walk down a lot of aisles, not just toy aisles. There's some empty shelves out there. So, and Hasbro said that they're looking into bringing them in through different ports and using some different methods in order to get those things, not just Star Wars things, but Hasbro products in general, in time for the holidays. So all we have to do, I guess, is just be patient. Buy it if you see it. Don't wait for it to go on sale or clearance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing it's a recurring theme that I see a lot. Like, oh yeah, I saw it one time. I said I'll buy it next time. I'm like, don't do that. Never do that.
Especially if it's something you want.
Yeah.
Like I'm all fine with waiting for sales on stuff you don't necessarily want, but you want it, whether it's the completist in you or it's something that kind of holds your interest, but it's not something you are actively collecting. Like I dabble in Marvel Legends and some other lines, and I don't buy those, the first time I see them. I'll wait, and I miss a lot of stuff waiting too. So, but again, like I said, I'm not a completist on that type of stuff. So, but if you're a completist on Star Wars, whether it's vintage collection or Black Series, if you see it online or if you see it in store, the best thing you can do, I guess, is to buy it and not wait.
Yeah, if you see it in store, yes, definitely buy it and don't wait. And it's interesting too because like Hasbro, like seems like this affects Hasbro more than it does other companies. Like you still see things getting put on the shelves from Mattel, from McFarlane, from Spin Master, from so it's just interesting how how, like, I wonder what the reasoning is, why it's more of a Hasbro issue. I mean, obviously everybody's affected to some extent, but it's just interesting how like Hasbro seems more affected than some of these other companies do.
Right. I think a lot of it depends on, the factories they come out of and, the ports that they go into. Like you don't see a lot of, like, let's say the Lego section, that's always full. As far as it's not never as in dire shape as the Hasbro
That's true.
Star Wars section, but they're coming in from the opposite side of the world than the stuff from China. So yeah, I think, like I said, and like with Marvel, they do a pretty good job of keeping the line or their shelves full, but a lot of the stuff that they've had lately is for movies that have been delayed, and TV shows that have been delayed, because like with production being shut down for a lot of those, they still made product way back when, and they were in the US for those launches, but they didn't get put out because the shows were delayed. So they had all this merchandise, in country already. So where you see, all of the Shang-Chi toys on clearance,
Yes.
especially for Marvel Legends, and what that movie's
Oh,
just
man.
started
Coming out
today.
Yeah. Oh man, I saw some of those for $6 the other day at Target.
Yeah.
Ouch. Why couldn't they wait just a couple more weeks till the movie came out? Maybe they would have sold through at regular price. But like, yeah, $6.
Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah, it's interesting times for sure. And I wonder, in a year, whenever this situation gets completely sorted out and back to normal, what it's going to look like, if they're ever going to be able to recover and get back to, I mean, I kind of think back, I say this, but I kind of think back, like, was it even great before the pandemic? A lot of this distribution,
Right.
Not really. So.
There's always been a distribution problem. It was just maybe not to this extent.
Right, not to this extent, for sure. All right, let's see what's going on over here. Usual Mike in the chat. Hello, Usual Mike. Thank you for joining us. Hazard Marvel items are fled at Milico stores. Star Wars and Transformers have been ghost towns. I mean, it maybe. Actually, I don't see a lot of Marvel lately. I mean, I mentioned the ones that went to clearance, but I don't see a lot of Marvel like locally. Again, San Diego, I think is a unique case. Just so many collectors here for some reason.
Right.
So
and like
nice.
G.I. Joe too is another one that's tough to find a lot in stores. Like I'm seeing more recently, it's been stocked. Like with the wave that has Flint and Lady J in it. So I collect those as well. So.
Yeah, that's one. I collect a lot of things. That's one that I said, hey, I ain't gonna go there.
Right.
But glad I did, because I hear there's a lot of anxiety for G.I. Joe collectors, and we already have enough of that with all the other lines, right? So, hello, Paul. Thank you for coming in here. I've seen you Tron figures. There's new Tron figures. I didn't know there were new Tron figures. Who's making those? I know that Walgreens had some like a year ago or so.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember who's doing Tron. Diamond Select, maybe? I don't know.
It could be. Yeah, I think I want to say that's who it was. Yeah, it was Diamond Select, the Walgreens ones. like a year ago. I remember seeing them.
Right.
They're like the 7-inch, that weird 7-inch scale. 7 inches is terrible. I don't understand that. Why can't everything just be 6-inch? I mean, I mean, I don't mean not 3 3/4. I mean, like when you're talking about bigger figures, the 1/12
Right.
scale. Why can't they all be consistent? Like, you have NECA doing 7-inch, and McFarlane doing 7-inch, Mattel does 6.5-inch. Like, why can't they just all be the same?
Right.
I don't get that. I really don't get that at all. Mysteries of the collecting world.
Yep.
So, Jayson, if Hasbro said we're only going to ever make 5 more Black Series figures, who would you want them to be?
Oh my gosh, Black Series figures. It's tough to say. Well, we'll just put YakFace on there just to get that one out of the way. So that's an easy one.
Of course.
That's a Jabba's Palace alien. So, Hammerhead would be one. Let's see. We're missing. I want Feed Queen Amidala.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Super Battle Droid.
That'd be cool.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. How many is that? 3? 4?
It's like 3.
Um,
It's not easy on the spot, I know.
yeah.
What about Kitster?
Kitster. No.
No, we'll pass on Kitster.
That does tie. I'd like a kid Anakin, a young Anakin. Just
Cool.
got to knock that last one out. But there's a lot of prequel ones in there.
They haven't made a lot of them.
Let's see. Think of a Clone Wars one. Maybe Paz Vizsla. We'll do that. Easy Mandalorian.
That'd be an interesting one. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a list too, but I don't even know.
Yeah.
I think Hammerhead would be solid for sure.
Yep.
I'm surprised we haven't gone Hammerhead at this point. I mean, kind of surprised, but not completely surprised, I guess. He'd probably be a deluxe at this point.
Probably.
But he could be really cool if he did it. I'd really like to see Ayla Sakura. I think she'd be really neat in 6-inch.
It would be.
I agree with you, Amidala, like in some form. Probably the regular, like classic Theed gown would be ideal. Sometimes I think, why don't we have that figure in Black Series? But right now I can't even think of some of them. Yeah, gosh, there's so many. And, we've gotten a lot of the holes filled, like with the prequels recently in the last year or two, like Dooku, Asajj Ventress, Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Cad Bane, some of the alien Jedi, Jar Jar. So, I mean, they have focused a little bit more on some of that era, but not. There's still a lot of things they could do. There's still a lot of things they could do in the prequel territory that I think.
Right. And Clone Wars is such a huge, resource for, obviously for clones. Why some of those haven't been done yet, I don't know. I mean, it'd be so easy, but maybe that's why I don't know. They could always fall back to those, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. What about a top 5 vintage collection?
I want the Rebels crew. That's a big one for me. Because it's the only way I'm going to get the Ghost eventually, is because if they don't make the figures to go with it, then we're not going to get the vehicle. So, yeah, Rebels is a good one for me. We need to knock out, let's see. There's so many of the original trilogy ones that need to be finished off, as part of finish the 96.
And, and some that need updating.
Right. We need a hammerhead in that line as well. I mean, the Saga one is great, but a new vintage collection version would be necessary. Let's see. We need the Imperial Dignitary.
Yeah, we still need 4 of them?
Yeah. Someone posted Bib Fortuna. He's coming.
Yeah, he's coming soon-ish.
Yeah.
Tanwi. Somebody's asking for Tanwi. Oh, that's funny. Well, we got Tanwi, just not in the vintage collection. So yeah, I think Cobb Vanth, both scales would be cool.
Yep.
I know they've kind of navigated away from sequel figures in vintage, but I still think we don't really have a great Kylo Ren in the vintage collection.
Right.
I think a Supreme Leader version would be neat, with a couple of different heads. Unmasked, masked would be ideal.
Yep.
We can't forget about the Tonica sisters, obviously.
Right. Yep.
I know John wants Belkin Taziri really, really badly, and who doesn't?
Yep.
So that'd be a cool one. Yeah, I'm always thinking about these, and I'm like, yeah, we need this, this, and this, but then on the spot, I'm like, I forget. You're still doing some of the Hot Toys too, aren't you?
Yes. I have got. I'm supposed to get charged for it here pretty soon. I only use the payment plan for Hot Toys just because
Me too.
It's
most of the time.
It's convenient and I guess it's semi-responsible. I don't know. I ordered the Ahsoka and the Clone Wars Ahsoka and the 501st Trooper to go with it. I've got the Anakin on order that has the it's not the sideshow one, it's the Hot Toys one that has the realistic likeness, not the animated likeness. And Rex, I ordered the Rex. So.
Yeah, Rex got delayed again. I think I got an email from them today and said, "Hey, this is being delayed again." So, shocker.
Yeah.
That's another a whole other thing for me too. I've lost track of the pre-orders I have on those. There's so many, but there's some cool stuff coming from them as well. And did you see how much do you get into the SH Figuarts or Mayfax figures?
I've not purchased one ever, but with the reveal recently of that Boba Fett from The Mandalorian, it's very tempting. I mean, I know I think it's sold out now from the different, because it went up for pre-order today, from those different overseas markets, but I would assume at some point there'll be a US distributor for them.
And oftentimes because it's not a web exclusive, right? I think it's just a regular. Right. So oftentimes what I've seen with those, because I not lately, but I used to be really into those. They would, once they actually received them, they'd put them on the site for sale. So I assume that'll be the case again. Yeah, but it looked cool. The Boba Fett looked awesome. The effects that he came with, the launching rocket pieces, were really cool. And Hasbro will probably never do that. So, I'm really tempted by that one. I wasn't a huge fan of the previous Figuarts Boba Fett. It just looked a little cartoony to me, but this one looks really cool. Another Din Djarin. It looks because the previous one had a small head, way too small. And this one looks like they kind of made it a little bigger. And I have the Mayfax one sitting in one of my virtual warehouse or whatever they call it, in Tokyo. So I need to ship that. I just keep forgetting to ship it. But there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff when it comes to Star Wars. Where do you focus? Oh, just buy all of it.
Yep.
Absolutely. So cool stuff. Well, Jayson, we've been going about an hour 9. I'm sure it's what time is it where you're at?
About quarter to midnight.
Oh, okay, so it's getting pretty late. Yeah, here too. It's not as late. It's 9:45, but yeah. So no, good stuff. Any final thoughts? Anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
No, not really. Like I said at the beginning, thanks for having me on, and I'm sure we'll do it again sometime. Thanks for everyone in the chat for your questions and your comments. So it was fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for coming on. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, we'll do it again for sure in the future. I'm sure everybody knows, but just in case, where can our participants here go to find you online?
You can find me at YakFace.com and the different social media channels tied to it on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Awesome. So I'll put links to all these places once we end the broadcast, and then it'll publish to the YouTube channel, so anybody can come back and rewatch it, tune in, listen, and hear some. Hopefully they'll consider good toy conversation. I think it was. So good stuff. Thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody who's been tuning in to us for the last hour plus. Great having a lot of you guys return as always. Thanks to everybody who's here. And we'll catch you guys next time. Same bat place, same bat channel. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, Jayson. Have a great night.
You bet.